Yeah! What's happening then? What's up, everybody? What it is, what it ain't, what it gonna be like. What it gonna be like. I am Joseph R. Wheeler III, the artist, the founder, the president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Welcome y'all to another live. Make some noise for yourself if you're part of our monetization nation. That means you're one of our subscribers. That means you're one of the people who donates. Even if you don't donate, you subscribe. You do something to push the needle forward. You want to see ONYXCON win. You're here for the glory. You appreciate what we do, how we move, and the edutainment that we provide as an arts and creative lifestyle 501c3 nonprofit organization. Arts and creative lifestyle. That's what we about. And yes, if you're from Atlanta, or if you know about Atlanta, if you've ever been to Georgia and you know about voting time and all that good stuff, you know what that means. You know what that means. You know what that means. I secured my vote. I mean, it feels good. It feels good to get that early vote in. To know that I got the business handled. I ain't sweating till November. I'm going to go ahead and handle my business. Because we are not going back. I can't tell you how to vote. But I got to tell you to vote. I can't tell you which way you got to steer your ship. But I suggest you get in the ocean. Because with every time we got to do it, there's a lot at stake. And if you live in Georgia, I'm going to tell you this, so that you don't get caught up like a lot of us do when we get to the polls and we're looking at that computer and we saying, wait a minute, what is this law? Amendment such and such. Law numbers, all them numbers and everything. They start throwing all that legalese at you in them weird paragraphs, and you're not exactly sure what you're reading. But if you're like me and you've been doing this ever since you could vote, you've been voting as long as you could vote, then you kind of know. You know the lingo. You know what it might be, what they probably talking about, and you make a yes or no decision on some very important laws. See, that'd be the other part. People get caught up in the individuals, which we all here for her. We all here for her. But you can't get so caught up in the individuals that you don't look at those laws, y'all. You gotta look at, because the individual is going to enforce the laws. You understand? That's how this thing works, you know. That's how it works. So you gotta know what's going on with those legal procedures, those different things that are gonna be on the ballot that come up. Like I say, we can't tell you how to vote, but I'm gonna tell you to vote. I'm gonna highly suggest, I'm gonna say it would behoove you to be a voter. Okay, it would behoove you to vote. All right, and it don't matter where you are. If you're a U.S. citizen, if you living abroad, shout out to you, salute to you. All my nomadics, okay, my people who work, digital nomads and everything. I appreciate y'all. Y'all inspire me because I'm about that life too. And one day I'm gonna join you as soon as I can. You know, that's part of the plans. It's like I love to travel and I can see how people do it. I can see how it can be a reality if you want it. And I say, if not, why not? So, but no matter what, if you're still a U.S. citizen, do your due diligence. Make sure you send in your vote from wherever you at. And if you needed that reminder, I'm glad to be that reminder, because I got my reminder. Like I had put it in my calendar, but you know, life gets busy. And for whatever reason, I overlooked the notification that would have said, you know, early voting has started. But I happened to see a friend of mine who's a cosplayer online on Instagram, and they had posted that she and her boyfriend had went and voted. And I said, oh, snap. Oh, hell yeah, it's on. So, pause for the cause. I had time, and I got time today. You're going to make time, right? We go and get it handled. We go and get it handled. We do what we got to do. Yeah, we do what we got to do. So, big up to everybody who understands the process and the importance of the process, and not on this, you know, stuff that folk be talking when they like, I don't vote because it don't matter and all that. That's bullshit. That's bull, y'all. I'm sorry to tell you, that's bull. It does matter. You know, your voting is just like, voting I like to say is like spending money, y'all. Voting is like when I ask y'all to put them thumbs up over here, or when I ask y'all to subscribe. That's a vote, quite frankly. That's why I only care about the monetization nation when it comes to all the eyes who are on the content. I appreciate people who look. That's fine and good. That's like people looking at the news and looking at candidates and everybody talking, and they all on the sidelines gossiping and saying what they think they know about people's lives and different slander and whatever they can bring up about them and everything. That's the equivalent of people who don't vote. But people who actually go, you may watch all of that, but the folk who get in the car, get on the bus, whatever they got to do to get there and do the job, that's the difference. That's the difference. Those are the real ones. That's the numbers. Those are the people who understand that if you are a homeowner, if you're not a homeowner, if you just live in an apartment, a condo, a townhouse, whatever it may be, property taxes, taxes on your food and every other thing that you need in your everyday life, your medications and anything. If you're not on medication, your family, you got anybody elder, more than likely they own something. You know what I'm saying? If you black in America, I'm gonna speak to you real quick. Hell, if you ain't gotta be black, if you in America, because this is an American problem. Diabetes and high blood pressure, we need to stop pretending that's just something that certain demographics deal with and others don't. That's BS. Being in America with the way folk eat, that's an American issue in general. People aren't, a lot of people ain't eating right. So when they get older, they on all these different meds and stuff. Well, guess what? If you want to regulate the cost of those things and keep it reasonable and not out of control and, not get the uncomfortable shock factor of thinking you were ready for an emergency and you're not, because then when it hits you, because then, people always think, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. I never say never, because I done lived too much life. I done seen too much, experienced too much, and I done had to have a couple of IVs in my arm because of unexpected health concerns that I would have never thought, as healthy as I am, anything could ever happen. Stuff happens. If you want to be ready for what can happen, you got to be financially ready. The only way to be halfway financially ready, because that still ain't a guarantee, but to have a fighting chance, you need folks who give a damn about you in office. You need folks who give a damn about you being able to make your bills and making sure you have a reasonable income. People who understand that when things happen in life, you need choices. You need the ability to make a choice without government input, okay? They should give leeway so that you can have your own personal decision for your life, your family, your loved ones. So, if any of that makes sense to you, it would behoove you to vote. It would behoove you to register to vote if you've never voted. And you should have been voting. It's okay, it ain't never too late. You can go ahead and I don't think it's too late. I don't know. It's early voting now, so I don't know when the cutoff is on registration. But if it's still available, go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get to it, y'all. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. It's on and it's popping. When I tell y'all, at the place I go vote, it was already crowds. Now, it wasn't wrapped around the building because it's pretty low key where I'm at, but it was this morning more than likely, because they had they had the partitions and stuff for you to be in the little zigzag line, the little maze or whatever. They had that outside, which I've had that happen at the place I vote before in previous years when I went, when it wasn't an early vote, and it was just one of them real critical elections, and everybody was out there. And I remember we were waiting I can't remember if it was hot or cold. I can't remember. I just remember we was outside, and it was a while. I think I waited in line close to an hour, but it wasn't that bad this time. It was like, that had happened this morning, because there's a lot of older people that'll be out there early because they ain't got jobs and stuff to go to or whatever, so they get out there super early, and that's what the partitions were for. But this time of day, it wasn't as crowded, but it was still on the inside of the building. I got to the door, I was like, oh snap, we got a little line here. It's like you still had to wait, to check in with your ID and stuff. So yeah. It's literally the second day of early voting or something like that. I don't know. I think it started on what's the day? Hold up, let me see something. Hold on one second. Yeah, it's today. Pretty much started today. That's what's up. So anyway, it's on and popping, y'all. I mean, it's going to be a long ride till November, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting to see these numbers come in, because one thing I'm proud of is to see the black communities are coming out. I've been seeing news reports, folk wrapped around buildings in certain counties. Folk ain't playing. Folk coming out to vote. They ain't with the BS. You hear me? They coming out to vote. So Can't say which way everybody's voting, but I know majority. I know majority understand her vision. I understand that they understand her vision. You know what I'm saying? Because she got a plan. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because views and opinions expressed by yours truly are not necessarily those of ONYXCON's affiliates, associates, sponsors, etc. But it would behoove you. It would behoove. It would behoove. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be a heck of a ride. It's a major decision year, y'all. Major. I mean, it always is. You know, everybody says that every time, but this one feels different. I mean, this is truly historic, monumental, in ways unfathomed by many previous generations. But after the experience, after seeing Barack Obama, President Obama, achieve what he achieved, I think a lot of people realized anything truly is possible. Anything truly is possible. So it's going. I mean, you know, what may come gonna come, and we're gonna be right there for her. Yeah. Speaking my piece. Do what you will with it, because you can't say nothing nowhere. I love it when I'm on here and I got my blockers up. You gotta put on your shields. It's like Star Trek. Shields are up. You gotta keep your shields up. There's a lot of trolls, a lot of haters, a lot of craziness in this world. You gotta keep them shields up out here, y'all. Keep them shields up. Because they don't want the shield. They think they want to play with the shields down, but that's because they're sitting behind keyboards and phones. They don't want to deal with the real. Anyway, we happy for all our real ones, y'all. Shout out to my monetization nation. Shout out to the people who understand my vision and support ONYXCON. Always have and always will. Much love to y'all. You know it's love. Worldwide. Thank you so much. Worldwide. But, you know, getting back to that topic, I was saying about being a digital nomad and the concept of that. We'll make that a topic here. I'm big on researching that. I've been researching that for years, quite frankly. And I've got friends who've done it. I've got friends who went places, lived places for a year, maybe more, came back home. And that's the reality of it for me. I think a lot of times when some people do it, there's different levels to it. You know, there's people who live abroad, have dual citizenship, things of that nature. There's people who live abroad most of the time, but are still citizens, only here, but have long visas and places and things of that nature. And I see all those as options for the way you can live. And I think more people should be living. I mean, more and more, this ain't something to be said for most people who are thinking outside the box. A lot of people are doing it. A lot of people's jobs require them to do it. I don't have a job that requires me to do it yet, but you know, it's one of those things where a lot of people are doing that. And I'm really proud to see a lot of younger folk doing it, 20s and 30s and stuff. They out there, man. They going for it. They're not listening to naysayers and people who want to scare you out of living abroad and being adventurous. They doing it. They go wherever they want to go. They see whatever they want to see. They come home when they want to come home, and they got the bag. They got the money to do it with. So I'm always proud to see that. I'm just determined to get my taste of that reality. So, you know, and with what I've done so far, you can see the levels we're gonna do it on. So it's worthy of your consideration to, you know, help us get that budget we need to do it for ONYXCON. Because trust me, when we get fully monetized and can really make those moves, I'm gonna show y'all what this world really about. Because the other thing that's different about this channel and the way I move, I'm gonna always do what others don't. I'm gonna do a little bit of what most do, because we all human. We all, you know, I'm a product of my times. I'm a product of my generation, etc. But I am an individual, and my organization is an individual. And I'm gonna always do the out-the-box thing that no one thought went with the other thing. I'm gonna juxtapose stuff that most people don't. You know, if there's a, you know, I don't drink, I don't smoke. So if all you want to see is somebody get on a plane to go hit another damn club, it's like, man, please bump a club. I don't go to clubs here. Why the hell I'm going to a club when I finally get to Colombia, when I go back to Mexico, when I go back to Malaysia, when I go back to República Dominicana? If I do end up in a club, it's not going to be your typical place. It's going to probably be a lounge, you know what I'm saying? I want to be as far away from the typical American type vibe as possible when I travel. I don't want to be completely reminded of home. I don't want to be so far removed that I have none of the amenities I'm comfortable with. I believe I'm not somebody. I'm a real mix. You know, some people are either one of the two extremes. Some people just like they want to be so far removed they just like living in the grit and the grime. I don't want that either. You know, and then other people want to be so luxury that they get no taste of the everyday culture of most people in a different place. No, I'm somewhere in the middle of both them realities in the way I travel. Definitely in the middle. And I like being in the middle because I get the best of everything. You know, when you're in the middle, you get the best of everything, straight up. You know? So, that said, you know, I've been looking at numbers and places that people typically go and places that are wanting American travelers and digital nomads to come. And you know, there's places, I saw an article about this, and I don't want to misquote some of the countries, so I'll only name the ones I remember off the top of my head. But they were talking about places that, you know, their populations and their economies are suffering to the point where they want new young energy, because either, you know, it's for many reasons sometimes. Sometimes you got a place where literally the population is so old, there's nothing but senior citizens. So people are dying off. And if they, you know, at the rate they're going, in the next few years, there won't be anybody living there. You literally have abandoned towns, you know, stuff like that. And then the young folk in those countries don't want to live there because they don't want to be around a bunch of older folk, you know, when they want to do young stuff. They don't want to feel like they're just caretakers and overseers of a huge flock of elders. And I know that feeling. No disrespect to elders, but, you know, it's like, it takes a lot to deal with. It takes a lot to deal with kids and young folk. And I've dealt with both, you know, in jobs and in my personal life, and got love for all those phases of life. But I learned from working with seniors. I used to work with seniors. I used to teach art to senior citizens, and I learned from that experience. I did it for a huge chunk of my life. Technically, like 15 years of service. Got the button and everything to prove it, you know, certificate, all that. But with Fulton County, and it was a rewarding experience in terms of the knowledge I learned, things I learned about life from seeing so many people's perspective. But the other thing I learned from that is you really do need to be around people closer to your age or within your generational experience more so. You know what I mean? Because, everybody's in their grouping, so to speak. You know, visitation, a little bit of effect. I mean, unless you just love that, gotta have that. Some people literally just love being around older folks or really love dealing with kids all day, for example. You know, it's like, yeah, cool. If that's you, fine. But, you know, for other folks, I think the adventure mind state that I have, you gotta be young in spirit. You gotta stay younger in body. You ain't getting no younger, but I'm saying you gotta keep yourself physically fit enough to do the things I do. You know, I've been hiking with friends who are not as physically fit as I am, and it was sad because they literally got winded. Like, we doing the same activity. They like the stuff I'm doing. They like to fish, for example, but they couldn't finish the hike. Like, they getting winded, or, you know, I've been out with ladies that you taking a climb, and, you know, she's cute. She got a little chub, little chunk, but she can't make it. That chub, that chunk is it look cute for it until it's practical. It ain't practical. You know, she can't go. She can't make it. It's like, damn, I might have to pick her up and carry her. You know, it's like, damn. You know, that's some disappointing stuff when you trying to be out and enjoy somebody's company and stuff. If you want them on the same page with you for activities, so, you know, same applies to anything else. It's like, yo, you got to be around a certain energy. So back to my point about these countries that have these dying, aging populations, they want younger energy there. And some of them are paying people to come. I've seen things where they're literally giving government incentives for you to come and be a citizen in that place or live there for, you don't even have to be a permanent citizen sometimes. It could be like a few years, certain amount of years, whatever. It's pretty amazing stuff. One of the places in Africa is Madagascar. There's a certain place in Madagascar that was big on that. And that blew my mind because that place is beautiful. And it's definitely on my list of places I want to see on the continent. So to know you could go somewhere like that and get an incentive, like, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, woo, how about that? You know, so there's a lot of possibilities, y'all. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of possibilities. You don't have to feel trapped anywhere on this earth. Wherever you live in and whatever's going on, if you're not feeling it, you can move. You can keep it moving. You know, you don't have to be trapped. Some people say, yeah, but what about your friends and your family? The difference in, I think when people say that, a lot of people who say that I've come across, they're not close with their friends and family. So they're needing that, you know. They're always needing that because they're trying to fill that cup up. I'm very blessed in that regard. Right? You know what I mean? I'm very close with my family. I see my family a lot. And so there's no lack of experiences there. There's no, I wish I always wanted to do this with my mom and dad. I've done most everything. You know, there's definitely always something else on the list, but there's plenty of things we've experienced and had time to do and made time to do, and that's a blessing, and I know that. So it's beautiful in that regard. But then you got people who lack that completely. And so I get it when they're saying, I don't want to move nowhere because I'm still trying to, you know, they still trying to patch that thing up and make that part of their life. I get it. But if you got that covered, I say that's another ingredient for the adventure mind state. And then there's people who might be working on all that stuff I'm talking about and still have the adventure mind state. But if that's in you, you know, I think it's something to be nurtured and be proud of and go for it. And so I'm here to encourage that. It's a big part of ONYXCON's message and what we here to share and hopefully inspire with the journeys that I go on, the travels I go on. And I think the main reason I got off on this is it was funny when I was signing in to vote today. Let me hit y'all with it again. Let me let y'all see it again. Yeah, I love this sticker. Every year when I get these, I got a collection of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like the little stickers football players put on the back of their helmet on some colleges to say, you know, how many, if you're defensive player, how many sacks you got, or, you know, quarterback, how many touchdowns they threw, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You put the little patches. That's what these are, you know what I'm saying? All them years I done voted. But there was a lady who had noticed my pendant, and she was like, what's the plane mean? And I said, oh, because I love to fly. I said, I love to travel. She said, oh, you travel? I said, as much as I can. And I think she was a little surprised too. I literally think she was surprised. And I'm like, ain't no surprise. Yeah, we out here. We are doing this. For real, we doing this. But yeah, y'all, it's about that. It's all about that. So yo, again, back to the main point. I know I covered a couple of topics talking about travel and digital nomadisms and all of that, but I want y'all to go vote. If you're in the state of Georgia, make sure you go handle your business. It's that time. Early voting is in full effect. Don't get caught in the lines. You don't have to be in no line. You can go ahead and get it out. I mean, well, you might still be in a line, but whatever line you're going to be in now, going to be 10 times worse the closer we get into November. So go on and get it out the way when and if you can, because I know everybody's busy and everybody got crazy schedules, but figure it out. Make sure you go. Peace.